Happy Wednesday. Almost said Tuesday. I don't know, my body feels like it's Tuesday. My hair feels like it's Thursday night. Hello, hello, hello. I am Jen Schiffer. Welcome to my stream. This is day 500 of, I'm kidding. I haven't done anything except work for 500 straight days in a row. It's Wednesday, June 25th. It's 3 p.m. It's 96 degrees out, way cooler than yesterday's 103. And yeah, we are at the tail end of this East Coast heat wave, celebrating. I feel hungover. I haven't drank in over 6 years, but I was up late last night reveling in the news coming out of New York City, my home city, of Zoran Mamdani leading the charge in the mayoral primary, making it harder, yet not impossible, for Andrew Cuomo to be the next New York mayor. But it was energizing to see, as I was saying on yesterday's stream, I was saying, if Cuomo were to lose, he can still run. But we need the ego hit to him, his buddies, as well as the greater Democratic machine. So congrats to Zoran Mamdani. Very exciting candidate. But now is like the even harder work, which is the actual mayoral election. We have one of those happening here in Jersey City as well. And I am also rooting for our progressive candidate here, James Solomon. We don't do ranked choice voting in Jersey City, unfortunately. We used to do this like ballot line bullshit, which finally Andy Kim helped get rid of. But the Democrats had quite a racket, I would say, going on here. But this is not a political stream. I'm just explaining why I'm feeling like I finally just woke up. And that's because I was up very late celebrating online with friends and got up after a very weird dream where I was taking care of a bird and the fluffiest eastern goldfinch you would probably ever see, and had myself an egg everything bagel or cream cheese, half for breakfast, half for lunch, an hour apart, because again I slept in. And yeah, hey Stefan, NJ needs more ranked choice stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of work to be done on how voting happens in New Jersey, but yeah, I think that actually Mamdani's campaign has probably done the best job at explaining to people how ranked choice voting works, because it is quite confusing. But I think his partnership with Brad Lander shows how meaningful it could be. And what happened yesterday in New York City with Andrew Cuomo not winning is what Democrats are most afraid of in New Jersey. So like in the New Jersey mayoral election, Jim McGreevey has come out of the woodwork. Jim McGreevey, who by the way was the governor of New Jersey, had to resign in scandal ahead of, I think there were threats of a sexual harassment lawsuit. I don't think his opponents will touch that story all that much, because I think the greater perception today is that, oh, Jim McGreevey had to resign because he was outed as gay. That was part of the story, but he did ultimately give a job to his boyfriend, if I recall correctly, and he was about to be sued for sexual harassment by a staffer. So similar parallels between the two, and the Democrats are, and the realtors, and even the Trump followers are behind Jim Greavy. So interesting parallels there. Let's see if it gets the push. I wish the other candidates would take notes and act on Mamdani's campaign. Are your candles surviving this heat? You know, that's a great question. I was thinking about this yesterday. My candles, which I will be launching my store next week, bugsrock.online, because of after July 1st, because we're going into Q3 tax, whatever. My candles are pillar candles. They use a wax that have a much higher melting point, but it is still something I have to be mindful of when I'm packaging. I want to use cool, natural packaging, like tissue paper, corrugated cardboard, starch-based peanuts, packing peanuts, not like plastics, because even though it's not 130 degrees outside, these are inside trucks that notoriously do not have air conditioning. UPS trucks, USPS trucks, they don't let those drivers have air conditioning. It's crazy. So while I'm confident my candles would survive the trip, it is a thing that I'm mindful of in how I'm packaging stuff. Candles that come in tins, jars, vessels, if you will, the chandlery term, usually those have a much lower boiling point. Let me show you. And then we'll get into some node application stuff. So Candle Science is my primary supplier for all of my candle making needs. And I use 100% soy wax. For my pillars, I use blended waxes. It is, blended waxes is based, I believe, in Wisconsin, US based. And I'm pretty sure, like, blended waxes, they don't just make wax for candle making suppliers, they make like wax for food, like, you know, like Baby Bell cheeses, stuff like that. So it's all like plant-based stuff. So this is what I get. And then if you look at the wax properties down here, so this has a melting point of 135 Fahrenheit or 57.2 Celsius. The pour temperature is normally how high you want to actually melt it if you're going to add fragrance. And then, well, I'll melt it to like 180. And I usually pour at like 140, 150. It really depends on the mold. That's why there's like a lot of testing in this. But the melt point, this is what you want to be mindful of when you're shipping this stuff. So 135, pretty high. I know that the trucks could probably get to that point, and so how it's packaged is key. For other soy wax, so I typically use, 464. This is very commonly used soy wax. This has a lower melting point, 113 degrees, which again, outside around here is not typically 113 degrees, but in those trucks, they are. And I'm doing ground shipping. So yeah, like I had to get more face lotion, and so I did an Ulta order, and it came in yesterday, and the lotion was very warm. The bottle was very warm. But like legit companies, labs will do testing on how high stuff can get. So yeah. That's an excellent question. hopefully they are surviving the heat. And I'll have on my like support page that like if you receive a candle like damaged in any way, we'll figure it out. But yeah, it's definitely, I've never had there are some people who make wax blends. It's actually quite popular. Like there's a lot of like, I've been going to like the local markets where people are selling candles. Like Jersey City has a bunch of like handmade markets. And a lot of them are using a soy coconut oil mix for their vessels and not their pillars so much. Because again, you have to have a hard wax to pull out of a mold or have standing up or survive this heat. So here's a paraffin soy. I don't use paraffin. Because paraffin's a controversial ingredient in wax because it's from petroleum. I've only ever used paraffin, actually right here. Oh wait, let me make sure my display is shared. I'm searching paraffin. I've gotten paraffin treatments like during a pedicure. It's a soft wax, but it's made from petroleum or coal. And so there's a lot of like greenwashing of like paraffin's always bad. It's weirdly enough, there's lots of drama in a community of creative people who have a lot of who are predominantly white women. But yeah, Adam rolling up exactly when I say you need to have a hard wax. You of all people, you need to have a hard wax. Another blend. Oh yeah, coconut paraffin, 120 melting point. Still pretty low. Beeswax has a high melting point. So beeswax and soy mixed are very popular, and I plan on exploring that. The caveat with using beeswax is by nature of where beeswax comes from, which is, by the way, from bees. It is not plant-based. And so circling in from like candle community drama overlapping with the plant-based vegan community, you know, I want to make sure that I have candles that everybody can enjoy. So it's all about just like properly labeling stuff. Ask a dolphin if paraffins are bad for them. I'm sure they'll say no. I'm basically making candles for dolphins. But yeah, but see, beeswax has like a 14-degree higher melting point than soy wax does. So if I do find that my candles have a hard time traveling during the summer, I will ultimately look into a beeswax soy blend. Beeswax is more expensive. So like here, yellow, and you can get white beeswax. I would prefer to get my beeswax locally because it's not plant-based. I would rather get it locally. There are markets in New York City. There's always like the bee guy there. We had a bee guy here in Jersey City, and I've not seen him yet. But when he comes, actually, the farmers market's tonight, and even though it's 100 degrees out, I might go out and check it out. It would be interesting to see if they sell slabs of beeswax, because the Union Square Market bee guy, he does sell slabs of beeswax. It's expensive, and it's yellow beeswax. If you want to control the color, you'll want to get white beeswax, and this comes in like little pastilles, little like nubbins. So like this is $10.96 per pound, and my pillar wax is $2.83 per pound. And I only buy it in 10-pound bags. I haven't gotten a case yet, because I have far too much empathy for my UPS driver to make him carry a 40-pound case of wax. I also live in an apartment, and I rent, so I don't have like a garage and a basement to store this stuff. This is all happening. This is the chandlery. You see it. Anyway, I'm answering questions that you haven't asked, going off on tangents from questions you have asked. How's everyone doing? Today we're gonna do some Node. We're finally migrating some post-glitch projects, but we need to find a home for it because genshifter.com, baby, that's a static site, not a Node server to be seen. And I shan't be paying $5 for DigitalOcean droplet for a site that's mostly static. Yesterday we brought in a bunch of my old Pixon and drawing apps into genshifter.com, and yeah, today we're gonna move. I have a Blue Sky bot that I made back when Blue Sky, I think, first started inviting the public. I'm like, I don't know what number I am in line for Blue. I was in Blue Sky early enough to when Blue Sky went fully public. I was being called a crypto bro because I was on Blue Sky early on. And I was not invited to Blue Sky early on because I'm a crypto person. I was invited early on because I'm cool and hot and people like to have me on their platform because I'm a fun time. I'm not being sarcastic. It's literally, I get invited to things all of the time because I'm fun and cool to be around. You get a halo of cool when I'm there. Where's my Blue Sky bot hosted? Right now it's on Glitch. I'll show you. So, counting. I think it's on Hello Blue Sky Sheep. So, back in the day, I made a starter project. Called Counting Sheep. Counterpoint charisma is unfair. Sorry. Listen, what I carry in charisma, the large amount of it that I have, the gift of gab, that halo of cool, it's filling a void left by a horrible childhood trauma. So there's the balance. And also I have thyroid disease and depression, so my life is not perfect, but sometimes where it matters, I've got the juice. So counting sheep, it's gonna be triggered because I woke up the glitch project. It is a bot that counts sheep. Boom. So I just love people who can talk, so I continue to shut up. I'm happy to be of service. Let's see. Okay, so this is a starter I made so the Glitch community could run their Blue Sky bots on Glitch if they wanted to. I'll do a quick walkthrough, but it does require a node server. If you're not familiar with Blue Sky, it is a theoretically decentralized social media platform built on the @proto protocol. The idea is that you can run your own instances, and you can. It's just very difficult. It is not necessarily competitive too, but I guess is by nature of how the two communities talk about each other. Mastodon, which is on the ActivityPub protocol. So I have accounts on both because I love to be everywhere. I like to know what's going on. genshifter.com is my Blue Sky account. I'm not logged into Blue Sky on this computer because then I would be on Blue Sky reading that, reading about big balls and war instead of coding. But I made a bot called Counting Sheep, and you see I triggered it, and every minute it just increments so long as the server is awake. Seven says, I never learned how to do cron job type things on Glitch. Well, I'll show you how I did it. And I wrote this a couple of years ago, and I'm sure all I'm using is a set interval function. Because the thing is you couldn't ping Glitch servers to like keep them awake. Like that's against the terms of service. People figure out how. That's, I would say, a significant part of why we've come to the point that Glitch is shutting down project hosting, because that counts as abuse. But ultimately, I wanted to create a very minimal, less than 100 lines of code starter to make a Blue Sky bot. So what you need to know is that this is using the @proto API. I have not updated it in forever. In fact, we're now at version 0.15. I'm using 0.2. I'm using Fastify just to have the static front page. That's so not necessary going forward. I'm not gonna need that. Node fetch. So the @proto API technically requires node native fetch, the ability to fetch, make an API call. This is always like on client-side JavaScript. You might have seen the fetch statement, or back when I was learning how to code, I was introduced to Ajax in a college course during a professor candidate's interview. She was talking about Ajax and how this will completely expand what we're able to do with the web. This is like 2003. And one of my actual professors who was interviewing her was like, Ajax, isn't that a house cleaner? And I just remember thinking, this professor is my advisor and he is a fucking idiot. And this woman better get the job. And guess what? She got the job. Her name is Dr. Catherine Herbert, and she became one of my mentors in undergrad and grad school. And she's still there. She just hit, I believe, 20 years. Huge milestone. Congrats, Kathy. But that was my introduction to fetching. So for the longest time, you cannot fetch in Node without a package like Node Fetch. But then Node made fetch happen finally when I believe Node 18. But as you can see here, Glitch does not have Node 18 on its containers. I don't want to talk about it. The highest you can go is Node 16. And so if you are using a package like the @proto API that is assuming, because it's not 2017, that you have Node Fetch on your server native to your Node application, I had to fudge it a bit. So if I didn't have Node Fetch, this wouldn't work because it's assuming it has fetch, and it does fetching on its own. So let's see. Stefan said I said Ajax years ago, and a child web developer around 20 years old laughed at me. Well, I imagine they're gonna hit an API, an AI chat that is only from like 2017 coding. But anyway. So this is what I did, and I'm so glad I commented this. Isn't it great that not only do I have the gift of gab and I'm extremely charming, I am so generous when it comes to commenting my code for other people. So, I'm not only just thanking myself for the community, but also for myself reading my code years down the line. So, we need to have fetch, so we require node fetch. And I set the global this.fetch to fetch. This, some people would say, Jen, you're crazy. And I'm like, yeah, I am. But you gotta do what you gotta do. If you ever have to do something that feels dark, satanic, sinister even, if it gets your app to work, it gets your app to work. We are living in a vibe coding world. All rules are off the table. None of this stuff is illegal. But if you are aware that what you're doing is weird and you comment why you're doing it, it will help you down the line further. Somebody said Fastify, which is just our Node middleware. Express is a really popular one. I have a static folder just because I wanted this page here because it was going to be in the glitch editor and it looks nicer. Then we listen for logs. There are logs down here. We're listening. Because your server has to listen for requests. And here we go, where we set up the @protocol API and Blue Sky bot account to do all of the bot things. And what you gotta do is you have to have app credentials from Blue Sky. And in Glitch, we have a .env section here that lets you add those environment variables and reference them. So I will remix this to show you. I don't want to show you my environment variables because then you will steal my counting sheep app and that will send me into a spiral. What I'm going to do is remix it, and on Glitch when you remix stuff you get a copy, but it doesn't put in the values of the prior person's environment variables, but it shows you what they are. And what you need to know is the Blue Sky username and the Blue Sky password. So you want to create a new Blue Sky account. Like, this is not on the jenschiffer.com account. This is on the Counting Sheep account. We're now at 8 sheep. Let's see how many sheep we can get today, which means we have to keep that glitch container alive. Okay, I'm gonna archive this because I don't need to be creating new stuff. There we go. I just showed my password. Whatever. Thanks, glitch interface. Well, while I'm here, let me actually log into that Blue Sky account. So when you join Blue Sky, I don't know what happens now, but you should be able to get another account. Like, you get like invite codes. I'm not sure if it's like fully open anymore. Let's see. Again, I haven't updated this in a couple of years, so we don't know what we have to change. I'm logging in on my phone. Oh. Da, da. Okay, so, okay. You can, so with Blue Sky, that username and password here is an app password. You can use app passwords assigned into other Blue Sky clients without giving full access to your account or password. So I'll just show it here. Like, you can't, this will not like give you the ability to really do much. And in fact, I'm going to delete that app password and add a new one. And handle that off screen. When you're adding an app password, you have to enter a unique name for this app. You can also say that I'm getting an error. I'm not sure why. Why isn't this working? Settings. App passwords. Add an app password. It's like not, it's just showing like I'm trying to create a unique name for the app and it's like not giving me any error, but I'm also using Firefox. Adam said you like to also date comments sometimes this way. That's a good idea. What is the error? Interesting. Oh gosh. Anyway. Maybe I have to verify my email. So I'm gonna do that. Okay. While I'm figuring that out on my phone, I'm gonna try to multitask and get into this code. So I don't know. So here we require the AppProto API. We're using rich text in posting. So we get the agent, the service is bsky, that's social, because that's what the account is on. Counting sheep, bsky social. And we're going to generate the sheep counting post text, which will be an object. Normally when you're a bot posting to a service, you're sending them an object that will include various things, including the text. So we create the agent and login with the identifier and that password. And then I say how often I want to post this in milliseconds, so a minute. Then we start with one sheep. We do a set interval, regular native JavaScript, and we want to repeat the number of sheep emoji over the sheep account. And so our post is counting sheep, ... the number, ... and then that number of sheep emoji. And then we increment it. We create a rich text object of that information. This is coming from the AppProto API. And then we generate the record. That's what you're sending to via the agent. You send a record. The type is a post. The text is that. Facets is, I don't know what facets are. And when it was created. And then you post the record, and you just do that every 6,000 seconds. And that's an async function, and we initialize that when the server starts. So glitch, when there's no request to the server, the container falls asleep. So counting sheep will stop usually eventually after all that has gone on. Here, we are at 17 now. So yeah. So let's figure this out. I want to create... Okay. We're going to... Forgot what my email was for this. Internet invalid code. I know, it's... My phone is getting mad at me. Okay. So I deleted the app password, which is in this environment variable here, but it's still going, so that's cool. That's fun and fresh. I reset the entire account password. So I'm gonna have to log in on my computer onto welcome to the internet. Sign in. Counting sheep. Try to remember what the password was. Sign out. Sign in. Ooh. I keep making weird faces and my phone's like, your face detector is not working. I'm logging in. Passwords. Count. Okay. And then I say for security reasons, you will not be able to view this again. Okay. Now I have changed it. And let's see if this will keep going. This will probably restart the server because I reset the env variable. So we'll see if that works. Okay. It's very simple. I just need a new node server where I can have it like, I don't have to change anything on this end except remove this link. So I think I'm gonna use Valtown. That's the whole punchline. What if I break this and then restart it? see if now. See, it hasn't done it in 2 minutes, so I did break it initially. I don't have any try catches on here. Let's fucking go, bro. Let's freaking go. Well, I guess it's good that I broke it on glitch. Anyway, we're gonna use Valtown. Are you familiar with Valtown? Valtown, which doesn't let you go on the home page when you're logged in. What are my notifications? Oh, there was an error a week ago. I got rid of that eval. Val lets you create vals. Which are essentially servers, little sandbox servers. It's not unlike glitch, but it's more like engineering practicality focused than experimentation. I've used Valtown for, I have a val here. It's very TypeScript heavy. Where I am getting a Google spreadsheet and I'm going through all of the content and converting that spreadsheet into a JSON object. So I have a glitch app that would make a call asking for this content. And these are all the songs and data sets for the Robot Karaoke catalog. It's that show that I co-host. And so this is made almost a fucking year ago. Holy shit. Because Jamie used to just have a spreadsheet and I was like, you deserve better than this. And so, yeah. And vals, I was showing the stream, I believe, yesterday or the other day. You can have up to 10 private or unlisted vals for free, unlimited public vals. They do promote the use of like cron jobs. You can set up email servers. If you want more than 15-minute interval cron vals, you can get premium. Okay, this tooltip thing is driving me nuts. I would like that to only happen when I hover over the question mark. But anyway, I like the people who work at Valtown. They are Brooklyn based and they do have an AI feature, but like you can like turn that off. I'm pretty sure I had done it. Here's their showcase. So I have all sorts of examples that you can remix. Seth Godin email notifications. Regex to brain rot. Sounds like my grad school era. And then we got our templates here. So we can like search, like maybe they have a Blue Sky bot. I don't know. Anyway, let's make one. Okay. You have branches and all of that here. I'm going to, I was just gonna say, have good values. Global this is not defined. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Ideally, theoretically, I don't need fetch. Actually, what was... I forget if it detects what your requires, not supported. God bless. Have you seen Skyware/bot? I have not. So actually, let's see. I'm just like pasting this stuff blindly here. It's not gonna work. Well, we can look at what we got here. So we got logs, branches, pull requests. I don't know if it's like built on Git and if you can export it. Remix, history, environment variables. So this used to be associated with your account. And then they updated it so that environment variables are tied to your val, which is the right way to go. You can import a .env file if I wanted to. Like for example, for glitch, let's see, hello blue sky, sheep. I don't think it will show. Man, I just like, I don't know if I just had a hot flash or if it's just hot. A wave just hit me, and it could be both. Why not both? Meme. How do I breathe without you? How do I view .m files in MacFinder? I don't know. I'm not gonna import it. Anyway, you can just like add stuff. So like for example, my key for one is blue sky username. Value is, oh God. Okay, I wanted this for glitch. I'm not gonna talk about it because it's gonna piss me off. But I love that it's invisible. I do. Oh, you see? It came back on, but for the glitch. This is running from glitch. But that means I had the password right. Okay, so now my environment variables here. Settings, the name, the image, the danger zone. And our support tool, I called the section, the part that would delete things, the danger zone. See, a little stretch, a little drink. I have my hot coffee and I have my cold iced tea. Let's see. We're gonna name it Counting Sheep. powerhouse of the bot. Okay. Gonna name the section of my new app the no-no spot. Less than 64 characters. The brain of... Okay. If your text area only has a certain number of characters that it allows, you should tell me that before I move my cursor down and hit save. It's just a friendly suggestion. When I'm, by the way, when I'm making like suggestions or like complaints or whatever, someone said you complain a lot. It's out of love. It's out of love. If I didn't like a thing, I would just move on. I know, I forgot, I said something about some other platform I was on like a couple weeks ago, and someone was like, man, you're nitpicky. And I'm like, I'm just saying out loud as I'm doing a thing. I'm multitasking, so it probably comes off as less sweet. Not my intention, but also grow up. Don't take it personally. I got shit on my computer and I just made it worse! I need a grandpa cloth. If you haven't had any water, drink some right now. Okay. Gosh, I'm sweaty. I have this like weird, I don't know if I like pulled like a little tiny muscle in my shoulder. I don't know what happened. It like, maybe not a pinched nerve. Huh, it's like right there. I don't know why it's doing that. I did a plank and a downward dog before the stream to see if I can like activate that pain, and I didn't, so I was like, what is that? It might just be from like sitting. Okay. Ugh, TypeScript. Let's do a showcase of here's Steve Krause, one of the founders of Valtown. Import, export, okay. So let's work from there. So what do we actually need from... I guess, do we need to import from... What is esm.sh? It's just a CDN. Okay, so let's say that's what we're doing. And my version was... We'll do the early version first. Wait, that's Steve's thing. Do not want to. Okay. Import at proto. also going to comment this out. Just say hey Potch, I'm trying to import, move my glitch app. Adam, shut up. I was like, why do I have a notification? Life is a highway. Okay. As I was playing, let me know if it's too loud. I can't tell. I have it playing a little bit out of my computer. Okay. So we're gonna... What happens? What is that copy to the clipboard? Call the environment variables in Valtown. Oh, okay. I forgot. It uses the Dino. I'm keeping this awake. I want to keep this awake so that it keeps posting. We're at 18, shoot. Username and password. Hello, Imperium. Notice how I haven't read the docs in Valtown. We're gonna learn how to do. See how to use Valtown's cron thingy. I just wonder if in this really strong reference is one of the major pieces of old music. Okay. This should all be the same. And then we just record. We're also going to 1 minute equals 60,000 milliseconds. We're just gonna lower it for testing. And this stuff we don't need. Now what happens if we run this? I don't know if we have to like listen on a port. requested module does not provide an export. What happens if I don't put... Okay, so when you're importing, you have to prefix it with npm. Okay. That's good error handling, Valtown. In this case, you probably want to import from npm at. Oh, I meant to put npm colon at proto. At proto is this is the package name. This is the version. We're going for an old version because we're just importing from glitch. And then for Valtown, you have to say, get it from npm. Ooh, what happened when I did that? Ooh, that's nice. When I highlight npm, okay. Y'all popped off with that one. Run. The requested module does not provide an export named bsky agent. Okay. So maybe I have to pull it from at proto. I thought I'd be able to skip this step. Whoop. Why can't I do that? Oh, duh. Equals, not from. Oh my gosh. I guess if I hit run, it saves first. I am starting to get fatigued of the fact that, I don't know, I wonder if there's a way to sort the log. Oh, here we go. Change the order. There we go. I want the stuff on top. So you can change the order. Ooh, script, HP, email. Email. Oh, nice. And then these are the raw logs. Very cool. Very cool. Then you can increase the tray. Okay. Uncaught and process. Invalid identifier password. bsky login. Okay, so I probably have. Oh, look at this. bsky username. That makes no sense. I want password. But love this. I'm really enjoying. logs. It's working. Gorgina. Okay. Now can I make something stop running? What if I broke it? Oh gosh. How do I stop? Get it to how does one get it to stop going? Okay, here's the history. Oh, when I refresh it, change my order. Okay. How to stop a valve from running. End valve. Okay, it seems to have stopped. Okay, timed out. Oh, okay. So now what we can do. Okay, cool. So let's watch this. So here, we're gonna archive the glitch app. Or at least get it to stop working by breaking it. Commenting out everything. Cool. This will break it. So this will stop working. And on the valve, our valve, right now I have it just logging the record. But theoretically, I'll just have to post the record. But this stuff times out after a minute, so we'll want to do a cron job. Cron as in time, a time job. I'm not going to expand on that further. Normally, you couldn't do this with glitch, which is why I use set interval. But ideally, I can set a cron job to every certain amount of time count sheep. The issue is, I know that we have 15-minute interval cron vals. But pro, we have 1-minute cron vals. And I used to have it so that the sheep would stop counting when a glitch container fell asleep. So these are all just like as people were open, because people were using the glitch app to learn how to make blue sky bots even to this day, which is very nice. But it never really got past, see, 41's the most here. I forgot what the blue sky character count is. But anyway, we're going to fundamentally change. We as a collective society have to come together to fundamentally change the way we think about the counting sheep blue sky bot. It can no longer, I'm so tired of this saying big balls right here. Can I close that? It's very distracting. So counting sheep would only be triggered when the glitch container was awake. But Valtown doesn't have that. I don't say like, there's no way for a normal person to trigger the sheep. The sheep are just gonna have to be perpetually counted. And to start, every 15 minutes. I will probably pay for a pro account so I can get 1 minute cron vowels, but first let's get it working on 15 minutes. We're gonna try before we buy. But it will only run the vowel for 1 minute. Okay, let's figure out how cron jobs work on Valtown. And then we can, because, you know what, let's see what happens if we just have this start posting. Okay, save. Now we're going to maybe we'll have it. Maybe half a minute. Let's try 10 seconds. And we'll just like run 6 times and go to sleep, theoretically. There's gotta be a hacky or non-hacky way to preserve the sheep count between vowels. Have it scrape from the prior sheep count. That's a good idea, actually. Let's at least have this work for just like that first minute of that clock time. But just know that if you need a perpetually running node server, Valtown's not going to be the option. It's like good for like API calls, cron jobs, but for something that has to be perpetually running, not exactly ideal. But what really is out there that you don't want it, that you need it perpetually running all the time when you have that cron job feature? Anyway, because you have to think about, I'm already paying, I use DigitalOcean app platform for my static sites, Bugsrock, Genshiver.com, Live Laugh Blog, and make 8-bit art. You get 3 static sites to start, and then everyone after that is $5 a month. So I'm paying $5 or $3? $5. Trying to log into DigitalOcean. Also, if you ever have a question about how much I pay for these things, let me know. I love to talk about it. Especially because like I'm someone who doesn't have a job, that I have not taken in any income since September last year. In fact, I bought new sneakers. I got a new pair of Nike Vomero 5s because somebody who is not an influencer but says she walks like 14 miles every day said they're the most comfortable shoes she ever wore in her entire life. And my therapist was out of the office last week, and so I was like, well, instead of paying for therapy, I can get new shoes because I desperately needed new shoes for the treadmill. And that's girl math. That's girl in therapy math. I got them. Usually they're $170, but the colorway, which is like gray, mostly white and some gray and black, was $110. And I got them in yesterday. I put them on already. I'm like, these are the most comfortable sneakers I've ever worn in my entire fucking life. I am so excited for the heat to break tomorrow so I can go on that treadmill. They also fit me, which is like hard. I feel like once you hit like a size 9, I'm a size 11 women's shoe. Once you hit a size 9, it's like sorcery math of whether a shoe is like your size or not. So yeah. Oh, hey Mike. Influencer with a lowercase I. I try to find like on TikTok or like Reddit helps, but I feel like the videos on TikTok where they actually show the shoe is helpful. If they have under 1,000 like followers and they're just like talking like runners and walkers, fitness people, look, not fitness people who have something to sell, like not fitness coaches, but people who are into fitness, they're so generous with that stuff and they have not steered me in any wrong direction. Okay, I'm on the screen you don't see logging into DigitalOcean. To tell you how much I'm paying. Let's see. So $3 a month. Show you. I don't think there's anything secret on here. I am an influenced. Okay, so this is the DigitalOcean app platform. Here's a very useful DigitalOcean icon that does not look like anything, but this is DigitalOcean. And I have a .coms project, and within it I have Live Laugh Blog. These are all static sites. I showed on a very early stream of my glitch migration how to deploy one of these babies. You can build and deploy 3 apps. Willingness to access are free. Each additional static site only app will be charged $3 a month. And here you see my estimated costs so far in the month are $282. So I'm paying $3 a month for DigitalOcean. I used to be paying another $20 on top of that when I was running my own Mastodon instance, but then I shut that down, moved to GardenState.social. Shouts out Stefan if you're still in the chat. Stefan's a maintainer of that. Hey Brodingo! Wow, what a crew we got today. Brody, I'm moving my Blue Sky bot from Glitch into Valtown, and so what we have is something that will post now every 10 seconds, but the clock on these vals only run for 1 minute because it's a free account, but we're at least going to see if it works. So let's scroll all the way to the top here. Okay, so we shut the glitch stuff down 12 minutes ago. Let's run. So, no errors, so everything's imported. And here's a timer that will count down to a minute. Let's see what's going on here. 1. If I refresh, it'd be a 2. 2, because it's every 10 seconds. Fun. Very cool. I like computers. I'm still on the fence on computers, to be honest with you. I'm just kidding. I was born to be on a computer. Bum, bum, bum. And then should just be one more. Will it make it? Will it be through and including 60 seconds? Who knows? Did I rate limit myself? There we go. Upgrade to Pro to increase the timeout to 10 minutes. Okay, so we made it to... We got 5 sheep. I don't know what non-computer do with all the time. Okay, cool. So we did it. We have this on Val. We're going to... It's public. You can make it unlisted or private. For a free account, you can have up to 10 of either of these. Unlisted just means that you can share the link. So, we are now in Valtown. How do we... Oh, we can develop locally. There's a CLI. Oh my gosh. When I was in undergrad and I was looking for... I studied computer science. That's my master's. And then I have a bachelor's up there. I graduated my undergrad in 2007. Great recession. It was a great recession. And there was like no jobs. There's no like early entry jobs. It's very reminiscent of what is going on today. And all of it's to blame for Wall Street and Silicon Valley, just like back then. I was interviewing for a PHP developer job, and it was like me being interviewed by these 2 guys that were running like a consulting firm. In fact, one of the owners looks at my LinkedIn page every once in a while. LinkedIn will be like, this person looked at your profile. And I'm like, yeah, bitch, thank you for not hiring me, because look at me now. I'm a candle maker. They had asked, the one guy had asked me, he was sitting on the desk, like he was like sitting on the desk while the other guy was behind the desk. And it was very like good cop, bad cop kind of deal. It was very strange. The elevator of the building was broken. This is in New York City. And like the one guy that was sitting on the desk was like frustrated that like I was having issues with the elevator. But then the other guy was like, the elevator's been broken for weeks. I wish they had fixed it. So I was like, wait, why are you making me feel like I fucked up by like not being able to get upstairs in the fucked up elevator when it's actually been broken for weeks? I just like had very bad vibes. And it's clear that this person didn't want to hire me. In retrospect, I imagine maybe they had someone they wanted to hire, and like the owner was like, we have to do this the legit way because of laws. I don't know. The guy sitting at the desk goes, so have you ever used a CLI? And I said no, because I didn't know what a CLI was. I was calling it a command line interface. I did not know that people said CLI out loud. So I said no. I didn't get the job, but I remember thinking like, oh, did I not get the job because I said I didn't know what a CLI was? Yeah, they're like, oh, are you familiar with CLIs? And I was like, no. But then I went home, like, I take notes on the interviews. I went home, immediately looked it up on Google, and it was like, CLI is a command line interface. And I'm like, yeah, I fucking build command line interfaces. I just didn't know that people would say CLI. It was kind of like back then, like nobody said LOL out loud. And so from that point on, abbreviations have been my mortal enemy. that person, I can't even say the name of that person because they have such a crazily unique name that sounds made up or like it sounds like an AI. There's like 2 people I've met in my life where they told me their names and I'm just like, that's not a real name. And one of those people said, before I asked them their name, because it was like an OkCupid date, and I was like, what's your last name? Because I was going to do a little background check. And they're like, you're not going to believe me, so I'll show you my ID. And they showed me their ID, and I was like, you're right, I would not have believed that this was your name. It also would have been impossible to Google. But I'm not going to say those names online. If you know me in person, you will have the privilege of asking me that in person or in the group chat. Anyway. CLI, of course, they have a command line interface. Because I was going to say, I'm like, oh, how do I work on my vowels locally? So you can create and manage them. I'll try this out at some point. And then Townie is their AI deal. Okay. So, add a readme. Count a sheep blue sky. This is the code that powers the counting. You're about to ask in the group chat. Whoa, brackets. Can we get can we get word wrap? See, you can turn on, off. Okay, whatever. Go back. Oh, here we go. Boop. You graduated in 2005 and so just got in the door before it closed. Yeah, so 2007 I was interviewing for jobs. I wasn't getting them. I was interviewing before I graduated. Cause like, that's the move to me. So, like, I'm glad I did that. Cause some of my classmates were like, I'm gonna wait until I graduate to like look for jobs. And I was, a huge difference between me and my classmates was generational wealth. And like, I'm not talking like my classmates were like rich, but they had like families. They like lived at home. I was kicked out of my house halfway into my senior year of high school. So I was like homeless, and then like I like became housed via the dormitories. So I was like already working like 3 non-tech jobs at school. And so that experience had me working alongside other adults outside of the college experience, and I gained a lot of good experience and advice from those people. I was like very much outside the like college bubble and in the workforce. And one thing I learned was like how to show up to an interview, how like I worked at a biomedical company doing data entry, and there was like my boss there before he got fired for drinking on the job like a fucking idiot. He did me a real solid in helping me with like my CV and my resume. Like I was like set up as someone could be who had like been out on their own for some time. But I was looking for jobs before I got my bachelor's and realized it wasn't because I didn't have my bachelor's yet. That wasn't why I wasn't getting the work. It was just, it was very competitive. And also a lot of times I would get to like the end and they'd be like, this is great, but we like decided we had to like pivot, and like a lot of jobs are like closing during the process. And back then, people were not rescinding job offers back then in tech. Now, that's like become really common, and I think it's really fucking diabolical and egregious and satanic and dark-sided and sinister, no joke, to like offer somebody a job and then be like, actually we're gonna rescind the offer because we're doing layoffs or whatever like that. That wasn't the case back then. Back then they were just like during the process being like, hey, we actually like lost the head count. So I decided to go to grad school because my university was like, I already had teaching experience at the university because part of my work study and one of my other jobs on campus, I was like making some cash by being like an adjunct. Even though I didn't have a master's, they were desperate for like people who can talk and are charming, have the gift of gab, and the time. And so I got my tuition paid for and a stipend to go to grad school and teach. So that's what I did. And so I didn't get into the industry until I left working at Montclair State in, well, the MBA was my first industry job, and that was 2013. So it's all about buying time. So if you're like a young person and you're like about to graduate and you're like, oh, there's not gonna be any jobs, you really just like, my biggest advice is like, there's no dishonor in eating shit for a bit to buy some time versus like giving up or giving up your values. Like I worked all sorts of different crazy jobs, but like none of them were like inherently like harmful. Like it can be done. But have I been broke? Like have I struggled? Absolutely. But when you take jobs and eat shit, as I call it, while maintaining your values, you build a support system and develop like a chosen family, if you're like me that didn't have like an actual one, and you'll like be okay. And I can say that because I'm 40, I survived, and I was not raised to make it to 40, not to be dramatic, but yeah, your on-campus jobs are student life, graphic artist, mailroom, and dorm RA. I was a residence hall like desk assistant, so I like swiped students' cards into our dorm. I was going to be an RA. I wanted to be an RA because your housing would be free, and that was the only thing that I had to pay for. But I also didn't want to be like a cop, and so I actually didn't get the job because the res life director, she like told me like she wasn't gonna give me the job because she didn't trust me to enforce the rules. And she's right. Like it was like no skin off my tit. Like we had a dry campus. Montclair State was a dry campus. And so it's like no alcohol in the dorms or whatever. And it's fine. If your alcohol is not out in the open and you're not like openly drunk and harassing people, that's like fine. We're adults. But like I wasn't gonna like be like, oh yeah, I'll go into every room and search rooms for alcohol. Like, aren't we too busy for this shit? So I got another job working at this biomedical company doing data entry and putting surgical toolkits together. And during the summers, I would rent a room out of the house that my father was renting a room out of. This is like this house that his like the dishwasher Outback had like owned, or his mom owned, and she died and passed it down to him. My dad rented a room out, I rented a room out, and then I like worked as a prep cook at Outback. But yeah. Podge said best townie job was sitting in a model home in an unbuilt McMansion subdivision all day waiting for people to come in, but it was the housing crash. Oh my god. Worst job was upgrading a biotech Salesforce laptops to Windows Vista in a large closet. Oh my Lanta. Okay. So I want to... I'm gonna share this on here. What would be an emoji that represents Valtown? I guess just a computer. I'm already using a computer. I'll use a floppy disk. Ugh! Come on. There you go. Code on Valtown. So here we go. We have counting sheep on Valtown, but it only runs for a minute. We want it to run on a cron job. So let's look at the Valtown docs on cron jobs. This, okay. Don't do this, please. Don't. Okay. Use the Valerie emoji. What's the Valerie emoji? Adam. Oh, okay. Actually, that's really funny. I'm gonna do that. I just put it as dance. Step 1, sign up to Valtown. It's free. Already did. Set up a cron trigger. In a new file, set the trigger type to cron. We're about to run a non-job. Brody, shut up. Code. Add file. So, okay. These are the triggers. So I mentioned you could do an email server. Let's do cron. Interval. Get the weather. Oh, okay. Blah blah blah. Schedule the job. Wait. Click the clock item. Okay. So actually what we want to do is delete. Whoopsie. Don't want to do the set interval. Inside of an async function. Ugh. Does this have like a linter? Yes. Okay. We want to change. Add a trigger. Runs every 1 hour. Minimum 15 minutes. a default export, or exactly one named export. This val has none. You guys are unserious. Okay, so we got it. But oh yeah, it doesn't matter what the interval is because we are not running that. Save, pause, cron. Okay, you guys are so unserious. Guys, I'm trying to write some serious fucking code right now, and you're playing with emoji? Format. Cron? This is 15 minutes past the hour. Okay. So we want to have it every 15 minutes. So what we want to do this ultimately sets it at 1 each time. This is not gonna work. I don't like this. Get out of my face. So we are gonna have to do what Adam had said, probably half jokingly, but seriously also, is I prefer my set interval. Yeah. So what I would need is a trigger. I just don't, maybe this just isn't the right environment for this. This is not going to do what I want it to do. I would need to, I could have it set, let's say if I had, let's try this. Sheep count, 0. Do you ever like name an environment variable and then you change your file and you immediately forget what you fucking called it? I've never done that before in my entire life. So if there's a get, there must be a set, right? No. Only set via the settings page. Yeah, I figured that would be too fucking fun to do. Yeah, that's so you had said set it like get the previous message. Get out of there. Why is my connection timed out? Oh. Blob storage. Blob storage. This is beautiful. This is great. This is exactly what I need. Blob storage built in allows for storing any data like text JSON. You can access it via std blob. Cool. Get set. This is perfect. This is exactly what I need. Thank you, Poch. As I say in all prior streams when I'm using this, yeah, I should read the docs sometime. And then I don't. Sheep. Sheep count. Actually, we're gonna... Let's move this up here. Oh, you had a feeling, Adam? You have no feel. I've been watching a lot of baseball clips. You have no feel. All my baseball clips are from John Boy Media, so it's literally just like coaches fighting the umpires. We're gonna keep this interval in here for testing, but once I move it to the cron job, we'll get rid of it. Okay, so we got blob. We're gonna get, but like there's not gonna be a thing, and so we should probably set it if it doesn't exist. Okay, returns undefined. So we can say, can we do that? Or one? Because if this doesn't exist, then it starts at 1. And then we'll counter. Okay, yeah. If it exists, not 0. Key old state. Get set. Oh, I love this. I love this like state-esque setup. Peoples. Sheep counter. Blob. Bad lip reading sports edition. John Boy is so good at lip reading. Get JSON key. Fuck this. I'm moving windows. This is fun. I'm having fun with this. Okay. We're gonna call this sheep counter. Wait. And then here, in set interval, we have sheep count. Sheeps. Oh wait, I'll set down JSON sheep counter. Operator can't be applied to types. Can I do? Ugh. What's the population of ESM town? Do we figure? That's what I figured. I'm like that. I knew it wouldn't work. I feel like mine is fine. Less sheep count. Let's see what happens if we just... see what happens if I'm not gonna post. Logs. Okay. So it's running, but it's saying it's undefined. Maybe because I do like how this tray looks over here. Okay. Okay, so sheep count equals list keys. Delete by key. Get key. Equals get baseline counter. It should be that or 1. Oh wait, that worked. Okay. So there we go. So we are getting, okay, nothing came out, so sheep count is 1. Interval. Argument of type. Happy birthday, Density's place. Please don't change shit. This is literally jazz music, royalty-free, background cafe music, in brackets, jazz no copyright, Creative Commons music. On YouTube from 4 years ago. Get key string. Every third song's happy birthday. I have like a first gen iPad mounted to the wall in my kitchen that I use. Theoretically it was for like, oh, so I could have my recipe on like a website, but it's an old iPad mini, first generation. I remember I got it when I got my job at the NBA. That was like my gift to me after like a few paychecks came in because I was broke. It's so slow in browsing, but YouTube works fine, and so I'll just put on, I'm not logged into YouTube on that iPad mini, but I've put on cake videos, like cake decoration videos. Can we switch to quiet time of God a little early today? The things that happen, the things that you get served when you're not logged into YouTube and they don't have any of like your history, is very funny. Okay. Or we're gonna Jen's version I found. We're gonna try this. Let sheep blob. Sheep. We're gonna call it sheep. And if it doesn't exist, the count is 1. Okay. So then theoretically, init sheep blob will be an object. Count is 1. So then we can say count is this like just like an annoying TypeScript thing that invalid identifier or password? What did I do? What did I do? Did Blue Sky like rate limit me? Is sheep count defined? Where is sheep count? Oh yeah, duh. I don't even know if I can do this. What is this? What did I do here? Duh. Just for readability for me right now, I'm just gonna do sheep level 1. Okay. We have an initial sheep count 1. New sheep count 1. New sheep count 1. Okay. So we're not getting an error. We're just like not. Okay. Oh, because I have to get the JSON. That's okay. So actually this probably is still fine. Okay. This should work. I wanted to start. Cool. well, that's fine. Because all I know is that we are we are increasing the sheep. It started with 1, but then we increased it. So now I can get rid of this interval. Because we're going to do a cron job. Okay. We're going to have to, I wonder if there's a way to see the blob. Way blob. If not, if there's no blob, 1. Got initial sheet blob. So actually we want to console.log record.text. See if it actually works getting that. Then we will set JSON. Run. Cool. Run. Four. Okay, cool. So now we've got accounting. So now I can set I really didn't want to have to scrape like the prior post on Blue Sky. I'm not really all that interested in learning all that much about the app protocol API just yet. Remove the gorge poll thing. Let's see. Okay. Blob storage and settings. Save this. Blob storage. Oh, here we go. Cool. So that way, if I wanted to use sheep counter in other vals, I can. That's pretty neat that the storage spans across different projects. This is where I was saying earlier that environment variables used to be on your settings versus specific to apps. So that's why this says deprecated, because I used to have all this stuff. And it did it works for vals created before May 2025, which mine were, but this weekend I moved it over to the normal thing. But this is pretty nice. Now you gotta format the number so users don't have to suffer seeing a 4 or more digit number without commas. I don't have to do anything, Adam. Delete. Ooh, can I download this blob? Sheep. There's my blob. Cool. I'm gonna delete it. Delete. And go back to my vowels. My vowel, my vowel, my vowel. I've been streaming for too long, guys. Okay. We're gonna add a chrono trigger. It runs every 15 minutes. Okay, so it says last run 5 seconds. So I guess, like, I don't have to hit run. Okay. So this should run every 15 minutes. I can stream for another 15 minutes to make sure that this works. But that's cool. That was this is a very good session. It only took me 2 fucking hours, but I've become more acquainted with Valtown. This is the code that powers that. Okay. Trigger 15 minutes. Posts. I'm gonna say val features used is cron 15-minute delay blob sheep count stored friendship made by Jen, who's turned coffee into code. Oh, you can add images? Well, don't threaten me with a fucking good time. Whoa! That's fine. Only 17 hours till sheep 69. Let's see. I'm looking for... Oh, you know, I have a folder called Muses. That's in my chaos folder. We're gonna put this little guy in here. This is a photo of a cat walking, of a black cat. We did it, fam. We did it, Gen Nation. Okay. So let's see. Let's see what else we have in store here. So I should probably do a refresher on TypeScript. I did a TypeScript workshop with a Microsoft employee had given in Denver. It's probably 2017. I'll have to look into that, because even though, like, there's errors here that are not holding me back, I don't need this sheep count anymore. Let's see, logs. I think pricing wise, you get 3 days of log retention, 100,000 runs per day. branches and create a new branch. I'll have to dive into like the CLI. Pull requests are not welcome. Remixes. You can remix this to run it yourself. Actually, that reminds me. Environment variables. Is there a doc on how to get blue sky username or app password? Gonna remix Accounting Crows. Why you should be using Blue Sky's app passwords? There we go. Oh, hey Phoebe. How you doing? You are no longer in Brooklyn. How do we get popular ones include bots? Client apps, there we go. I need an official doc on how to get an app password. So I can link to that because I am not linking to a life hacker post in 2025. Oh nice, you got to vote before you left. That's great. I hope you have a great time there. I've heard only great things about where you are. I've never been, but actually Tasha's daughter recently was out there. Puma's shredding cardboard right now because his treats are due. More and more folks. More and more folks. More and more folks. App password. App passwords are a mechanism. But do you say how to get them? Am I going to have to do this? So you can see why I'm not really all that interested in fully delving into the @proto API. Because I have to read the Robin Reach knowledge base in order to get... Okay. I guess I'll just have to link to that. Okay. I can write a proper doc for what to do when you remix this, but you gotta get that. Nine minutes. We got 6 more minutes to go. Ugh. Ow! Son of a parent. I just hit my knee. It is currently 95 degrees outside. She will not be going to aerial yoga today, but tomorrow she will. This is why you use Skyware. Okay, let's look at what this fucking Skyware is that you were talking about. Skyware. Adam, Skyware what? I'll look it up on Google. Oh wait. Oh, so okay. I mentioned that we're all friends here, literally in the chat. My therapist is out of the office last week, and I couldn't go to therapy the week before. And my therapy is very expensive. I pay $275 per session. And because there are those 2 sessions, and they don't take insurance, so it's like fully out of pocket. But it's great. It's impactful. With those 2 sessions, I decided that money is money I can spend on myself, because I don't buy things for myself because I'm not like working technically, and I've been on like a just pretty standard. I only buy things that like I need, and I keep a doc, like an Apple Notes doc of things I want that I don't buy, and I won't buy it unless like 6 months have gone by, and every month I'm like, I want that thing. So like there are things I have to make exceptions for, like my shoes I've been using on the treadmill have been hurting my feet. They're very old, and I'm like, I have to get new shoes. So I went on this journey for a couple months doing research on what's like the best affordable sneaker, and that's how I got my Nikes, which are over there. It's $110, and I'm like, great, that's less than a therapy session that I missed out on in this month. And then I thrifted some handbags because I have been using this mini backpack, which I love. I got this. It's a Kate Spade. It's my first ever designer bag, and it has a pin on it of that taxidermied cat thing that Peter, who sometimes is in the chat, got me at Dinosaur JS a million years ago. Anyway, I love this bag. It's not great for the summer though, because the straps are thin, and I like get too sweaty. It makes my shirt sweaty. And so this is great for the winter, but not the summer. I need a shoulder bag for the summer, but I want something that's like floppy and can fit a bunch of things. But I don't buy new things like bags and clothes. I thrift everything, and so I use ThredUp, which is like a thrifting consignment shop, and I've been keeping things of my favorites, and they had a huge sale, and I was able to get 3 used designer bags for $100 altogether. So I did that. They arrived today. I'm very excited about my new bags. Damn, you do therapy through insurance? Well, my therapist, when I started seeing him several years ago, was part of a practice, and it was under insurance, and he just got so good at his job that he was able to put his own practice. And I have a couple of friends whose wives are therapists, and they're explaining to me how like therapy through insurance is really hard because like insurance companies don't want to pay for therapy. I know it's hard. Anyway, he won't take insurance because then he won't like make any money at all. And it's sliding scale. So like I am financially okay to pay as if I still have a job. Like I saved up before I quit my job. I prepared. Okay. I've been homeless before. I'm not just going to put myself in a financially like insecure situation. I'm not a millionaire by any means, but I'll be fine. But he does slide scale therapy. So he does have clients who do not pay nearly as much as I do, and I'm just happy to help subsidize that because I have the means. It's kind of like with New Jersey insurance. I pay a lot of money for marketplace insurance, I'll pay less next year because my income will change dramatically. But that's in New Jersey, it's against, you have to have insurance in New Jersey. If you don't have insurance when it comes to tax time, you'll get fined. I think if you don't have insurance for the year, you get like a $600 fine. But that's because the people who are paying, like, people with a higher income are subsidizing cheaper insurance, more affordable insurance for people who can't afford it. And it's a nice system so that everybody in New Jersey can have insurance and not have to pay a whole ton of money because we are all in this together. How socialist of me, right? Jen Schiffer, noted thousandaire. So your old therapist didn't take insurance, but then you went on Headway and found some. Let's be serious. Serverbot makes it easy to build bots for Blue Sky. Guide is setting up. You know, Blue Sky account. Okay, these are the same environment variables I have here. Oh, this is just this. Okay, this is just a wrapper for the protocol. Okay, that's nice. I'll have to look into this. Who makes it? People I don't know. Oh, okay, cool. Look at that. 2 sheep. Okay, cool. So I'm going to say about that counts sheep. Currently, nice. Well, here we go. We did it. Gen Nation, I'm so proud of you. We migrated a single node app over in 2.5 hours. So what you can do now is you can create a Valtown account. You can remix counting sheep. I wonder how search works. Here we go. Counting sheep. No vowels found, blah, blah, blah. And then you go here, and you can hit remix. What happens if you remix? Test. I should probably... No, I'll keep the name. Is this a good name? I hate this. Blues, counting sheep on Blue Sky. We'll call it this. Okay. Did I just break the URL? Yes. Good to know. Save. Cowtown. Cowtown, like my Valtown. Cool. But it does not rename the header in my README, which makes sense. This guy. Okay. Gonna remix it into counting sheeple, and it's gonna be about all the people who are blah blah blah. Can you... Okay, I have to export something. I guess we can just, what did I do? What did I do? Notifications. All. Vowels require default export. Okay, so we actually don't have to is that it? Can we just do... Does this work? Let's pause this. Oh, we can get rid of this. Okay, cool. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna save this. So now there should... actually, this is really... The fact that it doesn't save my preferred order and it doesn't highlight really like what is currently running. Okay. Runs are cron. Okay. So now I didn't get that error. You can set it so that if you're... This is one thing I like about Valtone. You can set it so that it emails you if one of your vowels has an error. That's really useful. The thing with glitch is when projects were suspended, you wouldn't find out until either someone told you or you found out through trying to use the app that the project was suspended or that there was some kind of error. There was no notification. And for Valtown, you can set it to email you, not just like have error notifications here. I don't want anybody to ever email me that's not a human being, and so I turned that off. But yeah. Let's see. Counting sheep. So now you can go here. Remix. I'm just gonna see what remixing looks like. And here we are in a remix of it. And you go to environment variables. Oh, okay. So you'll have to... Blue Sky username, Blue Sky password. So you have to add them. They don't have them blank on here. You have to import them. Okay. Settings. Delete val. Danger zone. You can remove the connection to the original value remix from. You will no longer be able to see the remix badge or create pull requests. This action is irreversible. So I guess you want to make it look like you made it and that person didn't. I don't know. I'd be interested to know, like, why would you want to remove that connection? Cool. Great, we did it. Okay. So now I can go into my node projects. And delete Hello Blue Sky Sheep from this. And I have a better idea of how I want to work this stuff. Now, this is good that it's free. I might pay if I want to add more stuff on here. Really enjoy the editor. When I haven't used the AI feature. It's not of interest to me personally. But the fact that I can have it turned off is great. It's not force fed. The docs from how I needed it were nice. The errors that came up, good error triggering. I wish I could persist this order because I like to have it at the top. This is nice, the filtering. You could have it in its own window, which actually is nice. I'll probably use that more. I like that the environment variables are, I could type them and it's hidden from you on stream. We got history and logs. I'll look at the CLI at some point. Love what's going on here. So yeah, I'll share this out on Blue Sky with folks. I also have another I believe I have another Blue Sky starter that is just, I don't know what it was doing. This is far more interesting. What I do have to do is figure out my TypeScript. I have to update my brain. I'm gonna pronounce it Valton, like Alton. Valton. Adam says, I really want to tinker with Valtown after this for sure. Look at me. I'm an influencer. And again, I know the folks who work on this, and they're great. I don't know if they have, like, one of those strange here's who we are sites. Oh yeah, there we go. Steve. I know Steve. I know Tom. Charmaine and I've emailed. But yeah. They're cool. I talked to Steve. We got coffee a few months before I left Fastly. They were looking for DevRel people, and we just talked a bit about, like, there's not many of us who have worked on tools that let people run arbitrary code for free. It's a very necessary product, but it is rife with abuse, but it's not impossible to do if you are cool with doing the work. And meeting with Steve and, like, knowing the team, like, I believe in this product. Will they disappoint me in the future? Who fucking knows? It's not my job to predict the fucking future. All it is, I like it. So yeah, and it's like the same price as Glitch Pro. And also, I will say, their email feature is pretty neat. You can send emails, just like you save blobs. You can send emails. With Valtone Pro, you can. This is where I was like, when I think of like letting people run an email server, that heightens like, oh shit, abuse. So it'll be interesting to see what guardrail, like they have guardrails on this. Like you can only send emails to yourself if you're Valtone free. So here's like an example of like giving someone freedom to do things that could be very abusive, but like adding guardrails to it. Get a kickback, Jen. I'm just happy to find a thing that can serve the bot making community. So, yeah. Great. Okay. It's 5:45. I'm going to go. Imagine making your own newsletter on here. Yeah. I'll look in through some. I definitely want to look into their Valtone CLI because I would like to see if I can edit these on my own. The REST API, JavaScript SDK. Oh yeah, ESM Town is the home of source code hosted on Valtone. Okay. Like I also want to I have to look into like the npm package importing. She once was a SoCal engineer, now she's a Jaffiliate recruiter. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'll look into Skyware too. Yeah. Anyway, follow Counting Sheep. Profile there. Follow Counting Sheep on Blue Sky. I'm on Blue Sky also. On jennifer.com. jennifer.com is my username. And that's where I share when I'm streaming. Along with on Mastodon. GardenState.social. I share here as well. We have less than 2 weeks before Glitch Project hosting shuts down. So now that I know what stuff, now I have a better idea of what can go on Valtone. I know that there are things where it won't work. Like I have WebSocket stuff. So I'll have to figure that out. That, whatever. No. Wishful thinking. But that's okay. We'll figure that out. And yeah. I'll be back tomorrow. Maybe that's what I'll focus on tomorrow. Or I'll look into other stuff I can move over for Valtone. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Tomorrow it will be a high of 82, which is a lot different than a high of 97 degrees. So I'll stream before I head to aerial yoga. Have a great day. Yeah, I'll see you on jenschiffer.com. Happy birthday. Oh, and like and subscribe. Please.